Hey, welcome to another episode of Tinnitist TV. Today I am talking to the one and only Mickey Leigh. Mickey Leigh has been many things in this life: a guitarist, a songwriter, a roadie, an author, a cabbie, a bartender, even a drug dealer. But to some people, he will always be one thing: Joey Ramone's little brother. And there's no denying that their stories are intertwined. In fact, you could call Leigh the fifth Ramone. He was in a teenage band with Johnny and Tommy long before Joey came along. He sang backup on the Ramones' first album. He was the band's roadie for years, and he contributed to plenty of their songs over the decades. But along the way, he's always done his own thing too. He started the group Birdland with notorious rock critic Lester Bangs. He made music with the Rattlers, Stop, Sibling Rivalry with You Know Who, and plenty of other bands. In 2009, he published I Slept with Joey Ramone, a family memoir, which is now being made into a Netflix movie starring Pete Davidson as Joey, if you can believe that. But this year, Mickey Leigh finally released the first album with his name on the cover, Variants of Vibe by Mickey Leigh's Mutated Music. Does some of it sound like the Ramones? Sure, but it also sounds like the Stooges, the Who, Question Mark and the Mysterians, the Monkees, the Dead Boys, Suicide, Johnny Thunders, Billy Idol, Jim Carroll, Tom Petty, and even Simon and Garfunkel. Basically, it's a loving tribute to the sounds that Mickey and Joey grew up listening to, loving, and learning from. A few weeks before the album dropped, Mickey and I connected on Zoom for a wide-ranging talk about the record, the movie, his life, and pretty much everything else. Here's how it went. Enjoy. Nice to see you again. You would not remember this, and I wouldn't expect you to, but we spoke briefly, I think it was 2011 at the Grammys when you were there to get the Lifetime Achievement Award on behalf of the Ramones.
Yeah, 2012.
2012, okay. I remember you getting up and telling them that they should throw Bieber off the TV show and they should air this. That was great.
Oh boy. Sometimes I think that was funny, and sometimes I think, oh boy, what was I doing? But
Well, years later they started airing that whole ceremony thing on TV, so you were just ahead of the curve.
they started airing the achievement part?
Yeah. A few years ago they turned that into like a nighttime TV special, and so you'd have all the old clips, and then people would get up and talk. It was the same thing, except just not in the theater.
Some impact on that.
That's all you're doing, man.
It didn't make any sense. Anyway,
Doesn't make sense now.
And then the next day we went to the thing at it was the what arena was that? The
Staples.
Lakers. Staples, right? And some guy was supposed to get acknowledged for a Lifetime Achievement Award. George something, I forget. He was in a wheelchair. Showed him for 1 second. Boom. Julie Andrews. That was it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess ratings rule.
Right, that's right. So let's get down to what we're here to talk about, and that is Mickey Leigh's Mutated Music's new album, Variants of Vibe.
Yeah.
You really went for a mouthful there with all of that,
Well, you know what? Believe it or not, started making this album about a year ago, over a year ago. It was actually before the variant thing became prevalent. It was before the what's the one, the Delta variant, and before the Omicron. It was just COVID at the time, and they had mentioned something about variants, but it wasn't here yet, right? The Mutated Music I've had since the '80s. I started I had to start a publishing company for, to collect for songs I wrote. So I decided to call it Mutated Music. That was like 1982. Then I just, maybe a few years ago, I thought it's a great name for a band. So, I was after I wrote the book and finally had time to get back to my own life. I wanted to have a, start playing again. I had written a lot of great songs, but I didn't know. People were telling me I should just use my own name, Mickey Leigh, because of the book. People don't, but I've never felt really comfortable being in that,
Right.
just a band with, without a band name,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So I called it Mickey Leigh's Mutated Music, which is my publishing company. Hopefully, we can get established Mutated Music well enough that we could just drop the Mickey Leigh.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. But still, it must be nice to have your name front and center on something for once.
I'm self-conscious about it, really. I've always been like, I like the band thing, like, it's we're all, but luckily I've been playing with these guys for 25 years. The bass player even a little longer, and we just have this incredible camaraderie, and they get it, and they know that our best shot is just to put that forward, and then hope for the best. And they you can't really argue. I write all the songs, I sing them, I produce them.
Yeah.
So
I know some of these songs are. I know some of these songs are older. So what's the sort of date range here?
All over the place, really. None of those songs, they might be older, but none of them have ever been released.
Right. No, I know that you haven't put them out before. I'm assuming all the recordings are new, but I mean, I know like, you've got Loneliness on there, which is obviously a leftover from the Birdland stuff. And you've got Go Home Ann, which was first on this one.
Which I co-wrote that song.
Sorry?
I co-wrote.
Right,
Go Home.
right.
Yeah. But I never recorded it.
Right. But were you sort of pulling songs that you had written or co-written from how far back, and how and were you writing new ones to pad out, or what? How did that work?
At least half of them have been written in the past 2-3 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Actually, I put out a little EP a while ago that had some other new songs, because I did that because originally this album was supposed to come out in November, but because of the backup of the pressing plants and all that, they pushed it back to February. So last June, I decided that we got to keep getting things out, So I made this little 3-song EP called Some Are Fun, Some Aren't. And so that had had one new song, one brand new song, 2 older ones that I had recorded with Joe Blaney, producer who produced the Clash Combat Rock album, worked with Alicia Keys, but that was like a long time ago. Right. So I shortened the songs, I changed them around a little bit, modernized them, I hope, but nobody, unless they know, like you, nobody thinks, oh, this sounds like an old song.
Oh, no, they definitely don't sound dated at all. I'm just curious as to, you've obviously written a lot of songs over the years. What was it about this handful that made you go, you know what, I've never recorded these, and these are ones I want to sort of pull up and redo and get out there?
Well, I was always kind of disappointed that me and Lester never got to record that song. Well, there's a lot of songs he and I wrote together that we never even got to record. There's that one album, I don't know if you know about it, called Birdland.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, it's great, right?
Yeah.
But we didn't get a lot of the songs on there, and I always loved Loneliness. So I said, why not do it? I don't know, what's the difference when it was written, or if it's still a great song?
Yeah.
Who cares, right? And maybe 3 or 4 others fit into that category. Actually, it's kind of, I don't know if I should say this, but uh, the bass player I'm with, we had a deal with Epic Records in 1989. And we did a 4-song, I did a 4-song demo before he was in the band. Then we got this deal with Epic, which my brother kind of helped us get.
Right.
With a guy named Michael Kaplan. And they said we had to do this whole 9-album, 12-year deal, you know. But then they gave us $30,000 and said, take 4 months, record 4 songs, and then they had a month after that to either pick up the option or not. And so they didn't hear a hit song or a great song. And that's one of those is one of the coolest songs in the world. The last one, it's called No Fun Anymore.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Right?
Yeah, well, what do record companies know? Come on, you know.
Really, you know, I mean, they're probably, you know, and some of the other ones are going to be on this album too, actually, but or one other one. But you know, nobody ever heard them. Nobody ever heard these songs.
That's great. We are, and I got to say, Variants of Vibe really kind of it suits the album in terms of the amount of styles you've got going on here. I mean, I think some people are going to come to this album expecting one thing from you, and they're going to get like, you know, 7 or 8. I mean, obviously, if you're a Ramones fan, they're going to hear a bit of that, and they're not going to be disappointed. But I mean, I think, you know, if you're a fan of the Stooges, the Who, Tom Petty, Jim Carroll, question mark, and the Mysterians, the Seeds. I mean, you know, there's something for almost every fan of every era of guitar rock.
Yeah, the very last song on the album, it's called La 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 La.
Yeah, well, that's Simon and Garfunkel, isn't it?
Exactly. That's what I was just gonna say. You got Simon and Garfunkel too, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, and a bit of Suicide. I mean, I could just keep going on and on and on. It sounds like you've like condensed your whole record collection into this thing.
Sorry, it was an homage to Simon and Garfunkel and Billy Joe, Times of Your Lives.
Okay.
Yeah, but more Simon and Garfunkel because they're my neighbors or were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're from Forest Hills.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it sounds like you kind of condensed your whole record collection into this album, you know?
I guess I did. Well, not the whole,
no,
but
a bunch of it.
I was into so much stuff over my life, jazz and classical music, you know, country music.
Yeah.
I just, that's been my problem, I think, with getting a record deal. So I have a bit of a cold and I'm on antibiotics. I got a tooth infection.
Ouch.
The problem has always been with these record company people, well, we don't know where to put you. It's not pop, it's not punk, it's not metal, it's not, you know. You know, when I was growing up with Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix albums and The Who, you didn't have to worry about that, you know. I could see for miles and miles, and then Mary Ann with the shaky hands, and or you could have you know, I'm Lonely, I Want to Die on a Beatles album, and then there's Rocky Raccoon.
Yes.
So, you know, and that's what I grew up on. Those, you know, that kind of versatility. You didn't have to limit what you were doing, and I just refused.
Well, good for you. You know, and the thing is, I don't think you've ever really, you know, you kind of hide your talent under a bushel, because I know you've studied music and you know, you play umpteen instruments and you can play jazz and you can do all these other things. Is it that you just keep sort of reverting back to rock and punk and pop because of that's, you know, what's just in your bones, what you grew up on loving?
I grew up on, yeah.
Okay.
The first song I ever heard was, or remember hearing, I mean, aside from the children's songs, was La Bamba.
Right.
And that kicked it off. I mean, my mother said to me, like, why are you jumping around like that? You know, the beat, man, you know?
Yeah.
Nothing affects you like that, really. you know. I guess that's the beauty of rock and roll. But I mean, there's all kinds of exciting music, salsa, and Spanish beats, and I just love checking out even like um, Greek meters and the kind of music that from the Mediterranean, and it's all very strange. Um, at one point, I had a band called New Yorkestra.
Yes.
And my real plan for it was to find somebody of every ethnic origin and put us all together and combine our, cultural rhythms and melodies and see what came out of that, But it was a big endeavor, and I couldn't pull it off.
But you did a version of Loneliness with those guys too, right?
Was that?
You recorded Loneliness with them too, right? I think.
With the New Yorkestra?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I didn't.
I think it's on your YouTube page.
I recorded that with the guys in the Rattlers.
Oh, okay.
Who were the guys in Birdland.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and about that was a long time ago, man. After Lester died, maybe sometime in the mid '80s, late '80s, we just went into the studio and recorded a bunch of the songs that we had done with Les. Me and the bass player had a big plan. We even wrote out this whole proposal. We're taking it around to people wanted to try and get Bruce Springsteen to cover a Lester song, and
there you go.
It was a really bold undertaking. So it was hard to pull off, but we wanted to record some of the songs that we didn't get to record that night on April Fools. That our bass player snuck us into Electric Ladyland, and we recorded those 9 songs.
Right.
But there were a lot of others that there's a whole album I'd like to, with respect to Lester, because his lyrics were amazing. He couldn't really sing that spectacularly, but he had the spirit.
He could write.
He could write, but actually that was really tricky too, because he didn't write like a songwriter. He wrote more like a writer, and for the guy writing the music, trying to put his words to music, it was a challenge. Yeah.
Like herding a cat. Yeah.
Or like, trying to put a cube into a round vase or something. But
that's going to be 40 years now. We're coming up on 40 years since he passed. That's unbelievable, man.
Wow. It was 81? 82?
Yeah, 82. May of 82, I think. Yeah. Crazy. So talking about record companies, it would seem that Steve Van Zandt's Wicked Cool is kind of the perfect place for you to put this album out.
I couldn't be more thrilled. I mean,
how did that come about?
Well, I've known Steven for since the '80s.
Sun City days, I would imagine.
Yeah, he used to do something at a place called the Cat Club on 13th Street in Manhattan. The manager of my band, the Rattlers, was the manager of that club as well. So I used to hang out there all the time. And Steven had a night there once a week that he would do something. And that's where I first met him. And he became friends with my brother, of course, and because he hung out there too. We all hung out at the Cat Club. And so they became real good friends, and my brother did that the Sun City thing with him. And so I've known him for a long time. And not like we go have lunch every week or something, but I could call him up anytime. And when I finally finished that book and was starting to, think seriously about wanting to finally get something out, I called him up, and actually, it started when I was making my brother's second solo album called Right. and he was in the studio at the same time. So, and he played on a bit on that album, and I played him a song that I just had played on my guitar into a webcam, and he said, "That was fucking great, you know. I'd like to put it out. I want to produce it." This is 2012, and the song is called "Stories That Never Got Told, Never Get Old."
Right.
And so I don't know, something happened after that. I'm not sure what. Probably a bunch of Ramones business. Like there was a museum exhibit. There was some other problems. It's really consumed my life, unfortunately, or a big part of it. And but then when I was got back into the studio, I got back in touch with Steven, sent him the stuff, and he loved it, actually. I can maybe show you a text he sent. Oh no, I think I erased it. But I have a picture of it. He just said, "This shit is fucking great."
He knows his stuff.
Right. But for some reason, he at first he only wanted to put out singles, and then he decided to put out a whole album.
So has this kind of lit a fire under you, and kind of are you writing more? Are you kind of already thinking about the next album?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have so many songs and they're really good. So, but I don't like to rest. I did always want to get the songs that I thought were great that never got to see the light of day. I wanted to finally, let them out. So that was great for this. In the meanwhile, I've been writing a lot of new songs, and I don't know. It seems to be coming easier now.
Good. Are you a fast writer in general?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are those the best ones, or are those the worst ones?
Usually they're the really good ones.
Okay. Yeah, that's the way it is, isn't it?
I'm not sure how familiar you are with some of these songs.
Like?
A song called "No Fun Anymore."
Oh yes, I love it. I mean, I've heard the whole album multiple times and love it from start to finish. Yeah.
So I changed that a little bit, but that's one of the songs that Epic said was no good.
Oh wow! Again.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I made it a little shorter. I did change it a little bit. Plus, I had a lead singer in the band at that time.
Well, was that the Lion guy?
Yes.
Okay.
You really have been doing your research, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Joshua Lion, yeah.
How do we here, buddy?
All right, wow.
I got my uncorrected proof here, the original.
Wow. Cool. If you would like I'm not sure if that's the final, actual finished version.
I think. So, well, I don't know. It's pretty close. If it isn't,
it's real close. Yeah. I can get you another one if you like. Or you could just go see the movie.
Well, I actually want to get to that, but a couple of other music questions first.
Sure.
Talking about all the stuff you've done over the years. I mean, I kind of would like to see you put out some sort of a box set or an anthology or something, because you've done all these different things and it's kind of all over the place, and you can kind of find a lot of it online, but not all of it. And have you ever? I mean, would you like to do that, or has anybody even given any thought to it?
I'd love to, but I'd have to do it myself at this point.
Yeah. Do you have all the rights to all that stuff? I mean, or would you have to go and try and get some of it back from people?
Well, I put it in 1996 when I got my drummer Pat. I put it out in an album called the band was called Stop.
Right.
The album was called Never. I couldn't find anybody to put it out. I couldn't find anybody to put out Lester Bangs' album. Yeah. No, so I finally found this label in Chico, California, and he said, "You found the smallest label in the United States." I said, wow, that's great, cool. And, it's not easy to find the smallest label in the country, you know. So he pressed up 2,000 CDs, and we got a tour of England, played live on the BBC. Actually, they had 5 of those songs in heavy rotation on the BBC. But, you know, what can I do with that now? So, but they're great songs. There's a lot of really good songs.
Yeah.
But I put, I paid for them myself. I was working my ass off, driving a taxi, borrowing money from people. This is after I had gotten arrested for marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that album has like 14 songs and really good songs too. But everything I've done pretty much up until now, I put out myself.
Okay.
Or at least I pay for the recording myself.
Yeah.
The Rattler album that came out on Gem, that was just a press and distribution.
Right. Yeah. Talking about driving a cab, I'm fairly certain you served me many beers at Coney Island High back in the day.
I did.
I'm pretty sure, yes.
And I think you were a good tipper.
I tried. I believe one time I gave you 220s stuck together and you came back to me and you said, hey, here's your 20 back. Can I have 10 of it?
Wow. I'm proud of that. I'm good. Yeah.
You don't remember that at all.
That way, as opposed to you telling me, I gave this bartender 220 stuck together just to see if he would.
Oh, yeah, it was a test. Yeah, it was a test. Yeah. So talking about writing the book, from what I think I've read you say earlier, that it was obviously a long, hard, kind of arduous process for you. Have you gone back since and read it again? And what are your thoughts on it now?
You mentioned it at a timely occasion because I'm just starting to work with the screenplay writers now. So they asked me to find some of the rough drafts or some of the stuff that we didn't that didn't get into the book, and I know I'm going to have to be on the set. I'm going to have to be working with these guys, and I've been telling it to myself. You're going to have to read that book again,
Not really eager to do that?
Not really eager to do it, no.
Just because of all the stuff it brings up, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially the end, I guess, But I'm going to have to, and I should, and I remember that I intentionally tried to balance out the sad stuff with funny stuff.
It works. You did. And the thing that I really love about it is you also balance out the personal stuff with the Ramones stuff. You know what I mean? So if you're into, if you come to it for the Ramones story, you'll get that. But what I really loved was all the sort of behind the curtain, backstage, you guys growing up, meeting Dwight Eisenhower, not getting to see the Beatles, all that shit is for me the sort of way more interesting thing, because there are 57 other Ramones books out there, but
exactly right.
Why
people get pissed off at me, some of their fans. This is the Ramones book. I don't want to read about your brother,
well, why else would you buy the book?
Well, right. I say, when you got that book, it said I. There was an I. I slept with, So that should have given you a clue that it was not only about the Ramones.
Yeah.
But there was so many subplots and so many threads. The family angle, my brother's physical problems, the divorces, me being friends with Johnny and Tommy, and before in bands with them before my brother even knew them, and so many. It was really hard to tie it all together at the end.
Well, you did a great job. I mean, there's no getting around that.
Thank you very much.
Did you always want there to be a movie version?
Everybody knows the ending. That's quite hard. Yeah.
Did you always want there to be a movie? Did you hope there would be a movie, or were you kind of trepidatious about it and, having to sort of have this story, taken away and made into something by Hollywood,
Well, that's why it hasn't happened until now.
No, what sort of made it happen in a way that you were happy with?
That the these people convinced me, I guess,
Okay.
that they loved the story. They wanted something different. They didn't want another just like a rock bio. They liked the family. They liked that it was beyond it, that it had the elements of a rock bio, but more. And that was how I approach writing the book.
Mm-hmm.
It's about brothers and family, and it's a much more universal story that any family can relate to. It's like, not only if your brother became a rock star, and you had been the one who was skipping grades in school, and your brother was the fuck up, right?
Yeah.
But then the tables turned, and from your parents like always yelling at him, and you getting pats on the back, and now he's the golden boy, and I'm the piece of crap, right? So I'm sure that happens in a lot of families.
Sure.
I don't say I'm a piece of crap. My mom always loved me, but my father only respected success. So
was it hot cold turkey for a hot papa? Was that it? The single? You got to put that online if that's not up there somewhere.
It's it. I have the tape, but it needs to be baked. It's so old.
Yeah,
the Ampex tape, I'd have to send it to the confectionery oven, and I don't know. I guess it's sort of embarrassing. My father say, I don't know. I guess I don't want people laughing. That was why I didn't really want to put it out in the first place. I don't want people laughing at the old man.
I hear you. So talking about the movie, I mean, obviously,
my father in like a robe with the pipe, like you have to, with girls all around them, and maybe it would have been fun, but I don't know. The reason I held that tape was for another reason, though, because my brother had asked me to help him write a song, and I put some music into it, and he went and recorded it. But then he wanted somebody else. He wanted me to teach the part to somebody else. He said, "Motherfucker, I came up with that part, but you don't want me to play on this record, but you want me to teach it to somebody else, So I said no, because this is just going to cause another really big fight between you and me. I have to stop doing this, because then I'm just going to be really mad at you, and we're going to have another fight." So, not that he understood, I said, but I'm actually preventing us from getting into a whole other fiasco by not holding the tape, unless you want to give me songwriting credit.
Yeah, you were really honest in the book, though, about all that stuff between the two of you. I mean, that must have been hard to just put on the page and do. And then I'm guessing you must have got a lot of blowback over that.
Yeah. Yeah. Still.
Yeah, still
getting blowback. Yeah. Jealous of your brother. You think yeah, still getting blowback.
That's stupid. I mean, it's just that's normal family stuff, except there just happened to be one of you was a rock star.
I guess it's yeah. I guess it's normal family stuff, but we had to go to me and my mom went to a therapist, because she was in a tough spot. She had to kind of play, she wanted us to come together, so she couldn't say something bad about me, and she couldn't say something bad about him. But so we went to a therapist. I said, "Ma, I can't take this, you defending them. I didn't do anything. I'm getting taken advantage of here, you know? And the therapist said, well, if this is the problem and it bothers you so much, stop. Tell them no. Say no, I won't, you know, ask somebody else, which I never had done before, you know, but I guess, and, you know, she was right. I guess if I'm going to complain about it, then I shouldn't do it. And, you know, that caused a whole other conflagration.
And yet, after all of this stuff, I mean, you're kind of the keeper of the flame, as it were. I mean, you know, you've been going through all the photos and obviously the book and the movie. I mean, you're wearing a Joey Ramone shirt in this interview. Is that still kind? I mean, is it kind of conflicting to you even at this stage, or have you been able to sort of put all that stuff is all water under the bridge now?
You mean like the personal stuff between him and
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, before he passed away, we had a really great reconciliation.
Right.
You know, he came to see my band. Unfortunately, it was only a few months before he fell,
Right.
but he came to see my band, and he said, "Come on, let's sit down." And I said, "You know, it's my friend's birthday. I'm going to go sing him happy birthday like we did Simpsons style. Why don't you come and sing it with me?" Right?
Yeah.
I was really surprised. Our father had passed away 2 months prior to that.
Right.
So that might have been sort of one of the reasons he was trying to soften things up a little bit, but I don't know. So I said, yeah, sure, of course. And we went to Manitoba's bar. Yeah. And sang happy birthday to his friend. And then when we finished that, well, it's in the book. I don't know if I'm repeating myself. Should I tell you?
Okay. I mean, not everybody's read the book. I'm okay with that.
So we went there. It was it was December 12th, really cold night. But, you know, the Christmas spirit was out there. The glistening things were everywhere. And so after we sang happy birthday to his friend, he turned to me and said, "You want to do another one?" I said, "Yeah, sure." And another one, and another one. Exactly. And we were singing songs together, till 3 o'clock in the morning. And then we gave each other a big hug and said, let's just forget about all this stupid.
Yeah, well, and then good. I'm glad you were able to get to that place, right? I mean, would be shitty.
Oh man, it would have been horrible. Yeah.
So back to the movie. Pete Davidson, obviously a lot of people were surprised by that. A lot of people were more than surprised, I guess. Obviously, you know, the people, you and the people making the movie saw something in him that made you go, well, he's the right guy for the job. I'm wondering what that was that sort of sold you on him doing the part.
Well, actually, when the producers came to me with it, he was already on board.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that made it all that much easier, you know.
Did you see a tape or something, or an audition or a photo or something? Because a lot of people are obviously talking about the look, you know.
Well, I saw Pete when he first came on Saturday Night Live. I was always a big fan of him, and I told him this. I said, I like you the first time I saw you on set SNL because you remind me of my goofball friends from Forest Hills. I was wondering to see how he would take that. If he got pissed off, because I said, "You like my goofball friends from Forest Hills?" Maybe I would have blown it, but he laughed. He knew what I was talking about.
And he's a good
actor. Is he a good actor?
He is a good actor, I think. So I think he should be able to do it. You know.
I don't know. See, this is kind of why he wanted to take this role. He wants to make that transition from comedic actor. I don't know if he's done any. I haven't seen everything he's done.
He
So,
did a movie called King of Staten Island, which was sort of based very loosely on his life and losing his father and all that. Yeah.
but he was pretty much playing himself.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still a dramatic, kind of dramatic role. So,
Right, but it's not like he's.
it's not. Yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
biopic or anything. Yeah. So,
Well, it's not going out of he wasn't going out of his own head. I mean,
right.
he was him,
Right.
and that's pretty much the the big bang against him is that he's never done anything. He's always Pete Davidson, whatever he does.
Well, I guess we'll see. Who should play you?
I have no idea. I don't know how much say I have over it. But they're all being really cool. The producers and the writers, everybody's being really great. So I'm really hopeful this thing is going to work out well. But I don't, I don't know. I don't even know how to approach thinking about it. What do you, what would you do?
You're going to be on set and you're going to be watching two other people act out scenes from you and your brother's life.
So
that's going to be kind of mind blowing, isn't it?
I'm not looking forward to it. Maybe I shouldn't tell you that. I don't know. This is not live, is it?
No.
Okay. Are you going to edit a little bit?
Yeah. I'll let it out your pee break. Don't worry.
I don't know if I want them to hear me say that I'm dreading it, but
I don't think you're dreading it because you think it's going to be bad. I mean, I think you're dreading it because of the personal qualities. Because the same way I would be dreading it. That's there's nothing bad about that.
Well, because I'm going to have to be reliving all of these things, especially the end. If they get to the end, I still don't really know. They haven't shown me the screenplay yet. I've just been sending them, extraneous material that wasn't in the book to see if there's anything else they want to use. And I'm still digging through all kinds of files to get them as much as I can. So I haven't seen anything. But I've been assured by them that they want to stick to the story. They think that's what is going to separate it from all these other rock biopics and what's going to appeal to everybody, And that's the way I wrote it. I did write it with a screenplay in mind.
Okay.
I actually even told them, there's a screenplay hidden in that book. See if you can find it,
Well, they did. And now you're going to have to clear a spot on your shelf for an Oscar, right?
Yeah. Or at least, maybe the table here.
There you go.
You can move the peanuts.
So talking about going through.
There's nothing I would get an Oscar for, really, or an award.
No, I guess you could share if the screenplay won an award, you could maybe share in it. But
those guys, I doubt they I don't think they'd share with me. But
oh, well. So talking about digging through stuff, I see on Facebook that you've been going through a lot of old photographs and stuff lately. What prompted that? Are you thinking maybe about doing a photo book or something else with this stuff?
Well, what prompted it is that after my brother died and then my mom died, my mom was an artist and she had an art gallery. She had collected a lot of paintings and artworks. I had 3 storage rooms full of their stuff, right? And then I was writing the book and other things. I finally said I have to get this stuff taken care of. We did have a few auctions, but there's still things in that of my brother's, like his treadmill and his weights and records and tapes and VHS things, toys that he picked up all over the world. There's so much stuff. So I said, all right, now's the time. Maybe because of the pandemic, also, um, all I could really grab at the moment when I went there was these 3 bins of photos. So I figured, let me start there. You know, maybe there's something that would be applicable to this movie or something. But um, there's a long way to go. I mean, I only took out 3 bins of photos, and I found some gems. Really, oh yeah. Um, if they were handy, I'd show them to you if you want to see. If you want to wait a minute.
If they're handy, sure.
Let me see. Oh boy, everything came over. I didn't find the thing I was looking for you to show you, but there's things like this. My mom.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Me. We went to the Grand Canyon.
Go up a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Oh, nice.
Yeah, in 2002.
Wow.
We were supposed to go in 2001, September 12th.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm so glad I got to take that trip with her. My wedding.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is my mom's boyfriend from that same trip. But those aren't the things I wanted to show you. Yeah.
That is great. I love the hair.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
My mom and dad.
Top hat.
I don't think this is my brother, but
Huh?
it's a neighbor, I think. See what else we got here. This is it's in the book, I think, this picture. This is that night that I was telling you about.
Right.
When we went and sang happy birthday to a friend at Manitoba's, and then we just kept singing. No, that was that night.
Nice one.
That was the last time he ever sang anywhere in public.
Wow.
Yeah, and we sang together.
That's a keeper.
You know, sort of the screenplay I'm telling you about. We sang I don't know if I have a picture of that. We sang our first songs together in the basement, and our last songs together.
How fitting.
Yeah, right.
Aside from the photos, have you found any sort of other kind of keepsakes or treasures?
Yeah. Well, what kinds of memorabilia? Yeah.
Yeah.
But what types of things are you talking about? You think? Like Ramones kind of stuff?
Oh, anything. I mean, it's just, have you, just come across any sort of a keepsake that you didn't even know existed or that you'd forgotten about or something that just made you go, oh, holy crap, I had no idea this was here.
Yeah, I keep doing that all the time, but it's so many I can't remember like what.
Yeah, there's so much stuff, huh? Oh, that's a sweet picture.
Yeah.
You need to do a photo book, man.
I should, if I could find this other one for you. But this other book that my mom made, she made it 70 years ago.
Wow.
My brother was born.
Yes, I know. Yeah, he would be 70 this year.
Right. And it's so fragile. Like turning the pages, the paper just comes off. But that book has incredible things. And Joey, little Joey, and me too, as babies. My dad, my mom,
Oh, wow.
Sure, you're thrilled. It's like,
That's nice. It's interesting.
I have some slides. Would you like
Yes, set up the projector.
we'll turn the lights down. Um,
So
I'm
we're coming
sure.
up now. We're coming up now on 50 years of punk rock. In a few more years, it's going to be 50 years since the first Ramones album and all this stuff. And there's going to be the usual like reissues.
What was the first year?
Well, I mean, we were talking 75, 76, I think, when, stuff starts gelling, right? So, I mean, a couple more years.
When the
So, I mean,
actual, when the term was actually coined.
oh, I don't know about that, but yeah, I'm just wondering how you would like to see this all sort of marked, because there's going to be the usual tribute album and some expanded reissues or something, but is there something you would like people to do to sort of mark this occasion?
Uh, Me personally,
Yeah.
or for
Well, for you, for whoever. I mean, again, 50 years since all of this stuff happened that you were a part of, kind of right there at the beginning of, you know.
yeah. I have a strange kind of feeling about it. Um, like I don't want to sound jaded or bitter, but I'm just kind of sick of the whole punk thing. I'm sick of like, what's punk? You're not punk. This is punk. You know, I wish I saw a, a, a musical revolution when I was like 9 years old with the Beatles. Um, that whole phenomenon, that amazing time. And then in the 70s, with it wasn't quite like the Beatles, but it was, an amazing, uh, creative time. The Blondie, Talking Heads, Ramones, and um, I'd like to see another period like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be great. Yeah, a great new revolution in music would be, yeah, the best way to honor 50 years of that.
To celebrate the 50th anniversary of punk,
Yeah,
let's see something totally fucking different.
that is perfect, sir. I can't top that. Listen, I have,
You really want to celebrate punk, don't do it. Do something else. Do
that
something
would be
different.
the perfect punk answer to that. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, don't do the same shit. But not, I mean, there's some of it's good. Me and my brother always agreed a great song is a great song,
Sure.
whether it's all by myself or, she got a TV, whatever it is. If it's a great song,
I
it's
like
a
the way you
great
went from
song.
Eric Carmen to Iggy Pop there. Very nice, sir.
Intentionally. Uh, uh, yeah. Um, it seems like things have come to well, not just in music, I guess in everything. Everything is just, formula
Mhm.
these days. Um, the people maybe I hope there's people out there trying to do something really out of the box. And every once in a while you see it, but musically not so much. I don't know if it's the record company's fault. I guess I would think,
Some of
right?
it, yeah. Yeah.
For the most part, because they're not interested in exposing new things. Now I'm sounding like my brother, but it's the same rap he used to give, but it's true. It's a business. I understand that. I've been on both sides. I had a little record company, and you want to do what's going to have the best chance of being successful. But in my opinion, the best chance of something having success, if you think it's good, at least, is if it's not like everything else.
Yep.
No, that's
Originality is undervalued. Yep.
I love Devo and the B-52s and the Clash as well. But so different. I like Miley Cyrus.
You do?
I do. I think
there goes your street cred right out the window, man.
Well, yeah, but she's hanging out with Pete Davidson now.
Yes.
Right. But I saw her sing Jolene with Dolly Parton, who's her maybe not her aunt, but her godmother or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was fucking impressed, man. She's really good. She's great. She got a lot of talent, that girl. And there was another song I actually posted on my Facebook. I forgot the name of it, but you never know. I mean, I still have to suffer the Ashley Simpson syndrome. Me personally.
Okay.
You know what Jessica Simpson's sister.
Yeah. The one who got caught lip syncing on Saturday Night Live, you mean?
But it's and I guess I'm guilty of it myself, of thinking like, oh yeah, of course she got a deal. Of course she's on Saturday Night Live. And that's what people think about me too. But it's not working now. It's not working. People are still telling me, man, every fucking day, you're riding your brother's coattails. I'm saying, well, man, it's been a long ride, and I feel like I just got one block.